Straight ahead on 12 News, Brooklyn Park police dogs out to prove they're the best in show. Then,
just take the example of Northport Elementary School.
Why the First Lady is talking about a Brooklyn Center elementary school. But first, local housing prices going up, up, up. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. If you are a homeowner in the northwest suburbs and looking to sell, now appears to be a good time.
Yeah, it is definitely a seller's market. And Eric Nelson joins us now with more on that. Eric?
Yeah, thanks, Alex and Mike. Since the start of the year, the value of Northwest Metro homes on the market has skyrocketed. In cities such as New Hope and Golden Valley, the median sales price jumped over 20%. Now in Brooklyn Center, the median price has risen to $155,000. In Brooklyn Park, it is $200K. In Crystal, houses are going for $185,000. In Golden Valley, homes are selling for over $280,000. And in New Hope, they are going for over $211,000. This housing boom rivals the bubble years of 2005 and 2006.
Even homes that aren't what I would call really show ready in a normal market are still selling in today's market. And buyers in this type of market are maybe overlooking things a little bit more than they did in years past because of the shortage of homes.
A perfect storm has created this spike in prices. In the Twin Cities, there are simply more buyers than available houses. There are also bounce-back buyers who have recovered from foreclosure, and rents continue to increase. If you are looking to buy a house, experts suggest having a game plan and being able to pounce on an opportunity.
If you're a buyer, you really need to know quickly what you want to do. Have your goals set, know what you're looking for in a house, and when you see a house, unfortunately, you don't have a couple days to think about it. If it truly is a good house for the money, you're in a position where you're going to have to act quickly.
Now, Jerry Moskowitz of RE/MAX does not think this housing market will lose steam anytime soon. He says mortgage companies have higher standards now than they did back in the mid-2000s, and that rent is higher today than it was back then. Mike?
Interesting numbers. Thanks, Eric. Calm has been restored to a New Hope neighborhood where police had surrounded a home with a man holed up inside. According to police, a 23-year-old man was threatening himself and others with a knife. It happened shortly after 6:30 Wednesday night in the 5400 block of Quebec Avenue North. The situation took the night to resolve, and police didn't leave the scene until 2 a.m. A SWAT team used a beanbag gun to subdue and arrest the man. Charges are pending.
Some local runners are heartbroken and frustrated. This after the Team Ortho Foundation called off the Minneapolis Marathon. The race was canceled because the Minneapolis Park Board denied a permit due to construction along the course, and Team Ortho was not able to find an alternate route for the June 5th race. Kathy Stevens of Plymouth has been training for the marathon since February. However, she's not letting all her time and hard work go to waste.
I'm disappointed because I trained for it, and it was hard to train because I've got a busy schedule, so it's tough to get the time in. But you know, I'll just use the training for something else. I'm going to try and get into the Twin Cities. I think the registration's still open for that.
Team Ortho is offering a full refund to runners or letting them apply their sign-up money for future races through January of 2017. For police dogs across the Midwest, it's like getting ready for those final exams.
The Brooklyn Park Police Department will host the Police Canine Association Field Trials in about a month. It's a chance for the dogs, including the two newest in Brooklyn Park, to prove what they can do.
Him at this police department. And so when we're looking for a police dog, we're looking for a dog that demonstrates the abilities to want to work endlessly for us.
Brooklyn Park Police hope they've found that in rookie canines Kilo and Bongo. Kilo has been certified in narcotics detection, but if you want to graduate to patrol dog, you have to find evidence with human scent on it.
As you can see, Kilo is going in there. He's located something, and he's going into a down position. He is telling Officer Dunwald that he has located an item with human scent on it.
In this case, Kilo found a fake handgun hidden in the grass. It's something they will be tested on at the police dog trials.
So every day they've been down here, Monday through Friday, grinding it out.
Up! That's a good boy!
Officer Mike Plowman says one test of the dog's character is to hide his favorite toy and then see what happens.
How long will he work and sniff and smell to find that ball or that tug? Does he give up easily? Or does he keep working and working and working until he finds it? Well, we're looking for a dog that wants to find that ball.
The dogs are a law enforcement tool, but with the right training, Plowman says they get turned on and off like a switch.
We're able to take a police dog, bring him out to work to do police work for the night, and then at the end of the night, turn it off, and he's now a member of the family. He's a pet.
A working pet. The field trials will be open to the public at the end of June. You can see about 100 dogs from across the Midwest region being tested at Park Center and Champlain Park high schools. There is also a need for donations to help pay for judges and hotel rooms for officers.
The state's largest provider of public transportation is putting up help wanted signs. Metro Transit has a big need for bus drivers. The agency says close to 300 bus drivers are eligible for retirement over the next several years. It also needs to hire even more to account for plans to expand service. Metro Transit has seen a downturn in applications, which the agency attributes to the Twin Cities' low unemployment rate.
The year was 1974. The nation was recovering from the Vietnam War. President Nixon was embroiled in the Watergate scandal. It was also the same year Brooklyn Center brought on John Harlow as a city employee, and it turned out that hire paid dividends for the next 41 years. The city honored Harlow this week for his dedication to Brooklyn Center. Harlow started as a temporary engineering aide and worked his way up through the ranks, eventually becoming the deputy director of public works. The city manager called Harlow the epitome of integrity. He will retire from his job in June. 41 years.
41 years.
That's very cool. Coming up, Brooklyn Center students soak up a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the White House.
And then a little bit later in sports, Terry Tuma has some tips for fishing success this Memorial Day weekend.
But first, a chance for more showers and thunderstorms on Friday. Welcome back. Students from Northport Elementary School in Brooklyn Center will never forget an experience they had this week.
That's absolutely right. They got to travel to Washington, D.C. and perform at the White House. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains why they were selected to perform for the First Lady.
2 years ago, Northport Elementary School became a turnaround art school.
I'm hoping that it would empower them to want to know more and to go further.
Teachers painted murals and students planted flowers on school grounds. One of the first visible steps toward putting arts in every part of the curriculum as a way to turn this school around. Actors like Jamie Foxx stopped by, and the Disney Channel's Doc Shaw became somewhat of a regular.
Man, I'm so happy to be out here with you all once again.
But behind big events like this one, teachers and staff worked hard to make big changes.
And within 2 years, their test scores improved. They went from almost 200 student suspensions per year to 41. And Northport was actually removed from the state's list of schools that are the furthest behind.
The First Lady of the United States recognized that work on Wednesday at the White House.
Just take the example of Northport Elementary School in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota.
She spoke for 2 minutes about what's been happening at Northport.
The music teacher helped students break down rap lyrics in English class, the precursor to Hamilton. They started it in Minnesota.
And finally, she recognized the principal.
As Principal Leona Durden, who is here with us today. Principal Durden, are you here? She said the arts made the difference in the lives of our students.
A big moment that came several minutes before students from Northport performed as part of a talent show of turnaround art schools from across the nation. The students' performance capped off days of tours and special treatment.
They were in tears when they found out that they were going to be going to meet, you know, the Obamas and be in the White House, and they were so excited to see the monuments.
Back here, students watched their classmates perform in a live video feed on Wednesday. The moment might have been somewhat lost on students watching, but it wasn't on the teachers and staff who worked hard to move this school from the bottom of a state list all the way to the White House. In Brooklyn Center, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
7 students from Northport performed along with students from the 2 other Minnesota turnaround art schools. Students are supposed to be back in class on Friday. Wow, that's all you can say.
They'll be 10 feet off the ground.
Yes, exactly. Coming up, we head to Maranatha to meet a pair of standout students.
But first, Totino-Grace looks to advance in the softball playoffs. John Jacobson with the highlights next in sports.
With the switch to 4 classes in softball, Totino-Grace is in Class 3A, the second largest class for the playoffs. The Eagles face St. Paul Como Park in the 4-3A tournament. This one is a pitcher's duel, save for 1 inning. The third, it starts in the top half. Grace's Sarah Waslow ripping the liner down the left field line. Waslow rounds second, and throw comes in. She's safe into third. And then later with a runner on second as well, and Epping with a sharp grounder. Waslow and Maddie Doran come in to score, and the Eagles are up 2-0 after this play. But in the bottom of the third, the Cougars claw their way back. Cassie Prescott with a bloop. It gets between the outfielders, 2-run score, and that ties the game up. Later in the inning, Delilah Wolf with a grounder that just beats the shortstop, bringing Prescott in to score the go-ahead run. The pitchers go to work from there, allowing no more runs. Cougars pitcher Catherine Proper gets the win. Grace loses 3-2. The Eagles will play St. Paul Harding in an elimination game on Friday. The Maranatha Christian Academy baseball team came into the Section 4A tournament as the number 8 seed. The Mustangs had a wild one in the opening round on Wednesday. Lester Prairie, the opponent, and they get 5 at the top of the first, but the Mustangs rally with 3 in the bottom half. Tucker Berquist driving in. Bryce Lovecheck there. In the bottom of the third, bases loaded, 2 outs, and the Mustangs down 6-5. Lovechick with a fly ball over the outfielder, and that clears the bags. Maranatha takes an 8-6 lead. The Bulldogs tie the score later, but in the bottom of the fifth, Tommy Satzer singles through the hole. Jake Goldschmidt slides in at home, knocking the ball loose. And it's 9-8 Mustangs. So Lester Prairie levels it again in the top of the 7th. Andrew Gebhardt scores on the MCA error, and it's a 9-9 game. Bottom of the 7th, Maranatha loads the bases. The 2 outs, the winning run comes home, and this pop-up drops in. And it's 10-9, Maranatha the final. They'll face top seed Legacy Christian on Friday. The regular season is wrapping up in boys and girls lacrosse. 2 local teams look to secure conference titles in the Northwest Suburban on Wednesday night. The Armstrong boys, though, fall 5-4 to Elk River Zimmerman. That means the Falcons finish second in the conference, 1 game behind Anoka. Meanwhile, the Champlain Park girls continue to roll. The Rebels pounded Centennial 19-4 to win the Northwest Suburban title outright with a perfect 12-0 league mark. They are 14-0 overall. Sam Nolan had 6 goals and 5 assists, and Hannah Krimble 7 goals and 2 assists for the Rebels. The unofficial start to summer gets underway this weekend with Memorial Day. It's also the start of our weekly open water fishing tips with Tackle Terry Tuma. Here's Terry.
Hi, welcome to Channel 12 Open Water Fishing Tips. Throughout the whole summer pattern, we're going to talk about, and into the fall, of course, talk about how to catch different species of fish. But this year, we're going to do something a little bit different. We've been asked a lot of questions at seminars, on the road, radio stations, or whatever it is. And these questions usually pop up throughout the whole open water time frame. So we're going to dwell on those at least at the beginning of the series of tips. First of all, we got opening bass, the official opening bass, starting up on Saturday. What is a great approach to catch these fish? First of all, I always call it the All-American, the spinnerbait, of course, with a bait casting rod and reel. And depending on the mood of these fish, the weather patterns and so forth, then going to some of your crankbaits can be very, very productive. Also, a jerk bait is also very, very productive. And then depending on the mood, your Texas rig worms are also a great fish catcher, even though depending on the mood, of course, how aggressive these fish are. But then along with that too, if you got a tougher bite going, start to downsize. You know, using some of your pro grubs, your jig worms, even tubes can be extremely productive at this time there and through the whole open water period. And then of course, when you got a tough bite going, I really fall back on wacky worms. And we have talked about wacky worms in the past. Very, very important. In fact, now there's a wacky worm jig. It's going to get you the lure down, the wacky worm down faster into water compost the extra weight, which is a big factor. And we'll talk about that. And until next time, good fishing.
All right. First, there's several tips ahead this summer from Terry.
Great. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, students at the head of the class when it comes to recycling.
We'll meet 2 Maranatha students trying to change how we look at food waste. We'll be right back. As we remember those who gave everything for their country over Memorial Day weekend, there's an effort in Maple Grove to build a permanent monument to honor veterans.
Maple Grove doesn't have a veterans memorial. We don't have anything in this city to actually honor our soldiers and all those people that gave time out of their lives to keep us safe.
We'll have more on the ambitious plans to build a memorial within Maple Grove Central Park coming up Friday on 12 News. 2 Maranatha Christian Academy students are helping their school become more environmentally friendly.
Elise Moore and Elena Caven recently won a grant from Hennepin County to start a recycling program. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on these standout students.
Maranatha Christian Academy students will soon have more choices when it comes to getting rid of unwanted waste.
We throw away so many things.
When I first got here last year, I was kind of like appalled by how there's like no recycling bins. Half the kids are like, oh, what's recycling?
Yeah. Juniors Alana Caven and Elise Moore are starting a recycling program at the school.
Years and years they've been trying to implement a recycling program, and we happen to be the ones that got this grant.
The 2 got a $9,000 recycling grant from Hennepin County to kickstart the program.
We can buy recycling bins, new water filter stations.
Got it? It's not just recycling the girls are involved in. They participate in many school activities.
I'm head of the varsity basketball team, a captain. I headed prom committee this year.
I am also in NHS and yearbook and film club.
And the 2 are academically amazing.
See, ours keeps doing that too.
Both have over a 4.2 GPA.
I like AP literature a lot, but then last year I took AP Spanish, and I love that because I'm fluent in Spanish.
They say their faith is what motivates and gets them through stressful school days.
I would not be here without God right now. I remember like just crying out when it got to be so much, because at one point I had like 2 interns and then AP testing and ACT, and it was just so much.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Originally, Hennepin County gave the girls $4,600, but then decided to increase the amount after seeing the recycling plan.
Good for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again Friday, starting at 4.